Welcome back to the Get Off the Treadmill podcast for small business owners and entrepreneurs, where we show you how to build a successful business and to have a life too. We're going to dive into another topic that helps us make more money in less time and to get off the treadmill so we can experience a life of significance. And now, your host and the author of the #1 best-selling business book, Making Money is Killing Your Business, Chuck Blakeman.
Today, I'm talking with Andrew Rowland. He is a driven entrepreneur and business owner born and raised in Minnesota, where he developed a strong work ethic and community-focused mindset. Married for 12 years with 4 kids, he balances his professional ambitions with a deep commitment to his family. In 2018, Andrew left the corporate world to launch his own home care company, driven by a passion for making a meaningful impact in his community. Since its inception, he has grown the business through strategic networking, building trusted referral partnerships, and most recently, executing a very successful merger that has expanded the company's reach and capabilities. Andrew's entrepreneurial spirit and dedication to excellence continue to drive his mission to provide compassionate, high-quality care through his thriving home care company. Welcome, Andrew. It's great to have you on our podcast today.
Chuck, thank you very much. Thanks for the kind intro.
Yeah, you bet, man. Sometimes when I read those things or when people read mine, it kind of feels like my obituary, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, these are all the great things he used to do. No, wait a minute, I'm still alive. So
that is the most nice things ever said about me.
That's right. And it's good to see you still alive. So let's make this happen. So today we're going to talk about how to do business development the right way and how to do it relationally. That to me is the right way. I'll just kind of give that away. How to do business development in a way that makes people kind of want to run to you and not run away from you, because sales a lot of times is stabbing people with your business card and they run away. And business development done the right way can be done very differently. So you took a course. We don't want to talk about the course today, but you took a course. We offer a 10-week course called Fast Track. And it's not about the course. It's about what you might have gotten out of that you can take with you to make your business a better business. So kind of give me your overview of what you felt like you took out of Fast Track, and then we'll break it down however it goes.
Yeah, I think my impression and feedback coming out is that it was a very easy tool to use. And it incorporated, I suppose, quite a few principles just in the language we use about the different moving parts of our business, right? We have clients and leads and referrals and all these things, but some matter more than others, and to put concerted thought and effort to that, because some people that we meet have a multiplying effect to our lives and businesses, and other people just have a 1+1 kind of attitude. So putting considerable thought and attention and effort towards things like that was very helpful for me. It changed the way I thought about that and really focused some of our efforts, I think my efforts specifically, and on, how do you grow the business at a more rapid rate without trying a heck of a lot harder, meaning that what I do is more fruitful. I certain things I should spend more time, certain things I should spend less time on. So it helped me focus. So that just on the tool piece, the language, how we think about it. I think the other big part was the community. I think it's not networking. I think that's really important. And it's really good to be in and around things that are peer advisory. Those are 2 completely different things.
They are.
Yeah, and just having had that benefit with other groups that I am part of, they're tremendous just in bouncing ideas off. Everybody thinks about things differently. And when you get in a room with like-minded individuals, like-minded and like-minded, I think, are 2 different things. And so to have business owners that are going through similar struggles, and obviously you all wound up here for the same reason. Well, there's a lot of collective wisdom to be had, and just the check-ins and the accountability and the peer feedback, I thought was really good. And then the action items, the follow-ups. Let's state our purpose. Let's state our intentions for the meeting, and then after that, let's state our intentions for the week. I don't think people put enough trust and emphasis in that. Just that's one small thing.
Yeah, I think you got probably heard this once a week. You get what you intend.
Yeah.
Not what you hope for. And I also, all the stuff I built for myself, because I had to figure out how to bring tools to bear for myself and language to bear for myself. And I realized that a lot of times I hoped for stuff. Oh, I hope to have, I would like to have, I hope to have, I'm going to try to have 4 meetings next week. No, you're not. You
Yeah.
know, it's just talking out the side of my mouth. If you're hoping and trying and wanting, that's very different than I intend to have four meetings next week. That little bit of languaging is really powerful, isn't it? You mentioned you're into neurolinguistics and that kind of stuff probably really sits well with you.
Yeah, very much so. And plans change also, right? Something comes up in the weekend, it's okay.
It's
Right?
okay. That's why I say I intend. I don't expect. It's not like I have the right to have four meetings. No, I might get hit by a truck and end up in the hospital for a week and a half. But my best intention is I'm going to do this. I'm going to give it every shot I have to get four meetings next week instead of, wouldn't it be nice? I sure hope that. No.
Yeah. And I think furthermore, as your plan develops, maybe four isn't your right number. Maybe your number is actually 10.
Yeah.
Or you might learn you're talking to the four wrong people.
Yeah.
And you only need to talk to two or one. It could go that way also. Um,
But that's why we need to write down the numbers each week. I intend to talk to 10 people and get four conversations and get one new client. So I have a
yeah.
10-4-1 that I'm working on next week. And you do that for a few weeks and you might find out, hey, that works great. Or no, I need more conversations, or I don't need as many. But when we
Mhm.
get the numbers, we can ask ourselves those questions. And you're right, we might find out that four is not the right number.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I think it's a first step in goal setting.
Yeah.
And it's very easy to get distracted with whatever it is in business ownership that you take your eye off the ball. So, I mean, just to write these things down, right? Just like practicing of very simple basic principles is very useful. And so for small business owners to get wrapped up in something like that, and it's good, right? At the end of the day, we're trying to increase our income, and whether it be top line or just your take home, that's fine. There's lots of different ways to talk about it, but well, it's like reverse engineering this whole process into something that if really it all comes down to 4 cups of coffee, well, maybe it really actually might do that. Is it too much to think that we're going to do 1 million in a year? Maybe. What if that means it's 180 grand a month? Sure. Let's walk this all the way back to the easiest thing I can touch and feel on a weekly basis.
And the next one thing I can do.
Yeah. So that's things that are practical and tangible in that sense. And
And
so,
none of this stuff is new. We talked a little bit about that before we got on the podcast. We take it for granted sometimes. Stephen Covey, one of his 7 habits of highly successful people, start with the end in mind.
mhm.
So we should reverse engineer just about any goal that we have. If we want X at the end of the year, then what do we want 6 months from now, 3 months from now, 1 month from now? What do we have to do in the next 2 weeks? What do we have to do in the next week? What do I have to do today
Hmm.
in order to get there a year from now? And I know for myself, again, I've developed all this stuff for myself because I'm such a slow learner. 13 businesses later, I'm beginning to figure some of this stuff out. But it was very difficult for me. I used the random hope strategy of business for at least my first 5 businesses. And the random hope strategy of business never starts with the end in mind. It starts with, what in the world do I need to do today? Let's hit the ground running and let's knock out as many to-dos as I can. So the random hope strategy became, for me, I'm going to work really hard and I hope something good happens.
Hmm.
Just work your buns off every day. And if you do that, maybe something good will happen. Well, what if we started with the end in mind and realized, I don't have to work so hard today. I really just need to figure out how to get 4 cups of coffee this week. And if I do that, I'll get to my annual goal.
Yeah.
But we don't think that way, do we? We're so caught up in the tyranny of the urgent and the stuff that's the present. So I appreciate you reminding me of that.
Yeah, the tyranny of the urgent, I think it actually becomes this really comfortable or comfortably uncomfortable excuse so
Uh-huh.
often.
Yeah.
I think when I was starting my business, right, I guess I was just uh starting an LLC, like you just go through the legal stuff and opening bank accounts and like, okay, yeah, great, but it's not yielding you results, right? And so obviously you get to a place within your business and your life, and so now we got to go out and, well, expectations change as they should, which means your actions should also follow. You can't keep doing that same thing and expect a whole different result. But yeah, in order for me to change my actions, I have to change the way I think
Yeah.
first and
And,
foremost. So there's a thought process in and around much of what I do that must be challenged always, always, always. Yeah.
and you remind me, one of the things we talked about early on in Fast Track is that the random hope strategy of business leads us to playing office a lot of times. But we're doing things. We're doing so many things today. We're just we're just killing it. We got 27 things on our list and we knocked 26 of them out. None of them had to do with actually the things I need to do in order to grow my business. They were just all those dumb, dingy little things that I got to do that frankly aren't going to move me forward. And we end up playing office.
Mhm.
I feel good because I went home and I did so many things today. Well, did I do anything that actually helped me to get to my 10-week or 3-month or annual goal? Well, no, I
Yeah.
didn't have time for that.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah. So it's very true. I mean, you hear it and see it a lot, and talk with friends or other people that have reached out that they're starting their business and they want to talk about it. And there's a learning curve to it. You hear their language echoed, and it reminds me of myself when I was talking about it, right when I started my business. And I know that as I evolve as well, I'll have that exact same experience upon my current self. I'm sure of it.
I mean, it's kind of like I'm so busy spinning my wheels that I have time to think about how do I stop spinning my wheels. It
Hmm.
sounds silly when we say it that way, but that's really what we get caught in, that tyranny of the urgent. I'm so busy doing everything. I don't have time to do the one thing
Yeah.
that would really matter.
Yeah. To participate in a group activity like that forces business owners to work on the business versus in the business, and you get to hear and see others growing that grow within 4 and 8 and 12 weeks that go through it. It's an interesting thing to see. And so then you do that to yourself also, and that's a good thing. And then
Yeah,
staying on the business, what are those instead of I already know my list of 100 things, it doesn't mean it goes away. I just need to spend some more time thinking of the 4 things that I need to do that will really, really drive my business forward. Because the operations management and the minutia, that stuff, it doesn't go away. But how
it
do we
does.
grow our business? How does the growth of the business maybe change the things? Maybe some of the things that were on your list of 100, they might even go away.
Well, and that's one of the things I learned doing this for myself was that when I focused on the tyranny of the urgent, I just focused on the tyranny of the urgent. It never went away. There was always another 27 things I had to do. But when I refocused on the priority of the important, what is the one thing that I can do today to actually change my business? To your point, if you want to change something, if you want something to change, you have to change it. What's the one thing? I found that as I focused on those important things, those very few important things, I ended up with fewer and fewer tyranny of the urgent things. They solve the tyranny of the urgent when you focus on the important. But the problem with that for me, I had to think, why don't I do this? And I realized that the reason I didn't focus on the important things is because they don't feel like something that make me successful today. They're things that might make me successful a month from now, or 3 months from now, or 3 years from now, like planning. I don't have time to plan. I'm too busy making chairs or figuring out why I'm in business. I don't have time to figure out why I'm in business. I'm too busy making chairs. So we don't do the important things and we end up as slaves to the tyranny of the urgent. So it's one of those things that we have to figure out. And to your point, I couldn't figure that out myself. I grew up a rugged individualist and I am a reformed rugged individualist. I realized, to your point, how valuable this community and Fast Track or any other kind of community is where we can get with other business owners and we do this stuff together and we watch each other grow. We're made to live in community. We're not made to live as rugged individualists. We play tennis together, we play cards together, we go hiking together, but then we do business alone. It's
Yeah.
crazy, isn't it? It's just nuts. But that's kind of the proud thing, man. I did this myself.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's lonely at the top. Maybe you might not be surrounded by the right
It
people.
doesn't have
There's
to, it
that as
doesn't have
well,
to be
and
lonely.
yeah,
No.
yeah,
It might
yeah.
be lonely in your business. You might not have anyone else in your business that you can talk about certain things with.
Hmm.
That's why you need a peer advisory group to do
Yeah,
that with other people
yeah,
who can share in your joy and in your misery and say, man, I get you. I'm working on the same things.
yeah,
So
yeah.
that's real good. I want to go back to something you said early on as we got started that I think is really compelling and is a big part of the way we talk about doing business development rather than sales. You talked about the multiplying effect of certain people versus just the plus one effect of others. That's a big part of Fast Track is helping us find who are the multipliers. Talk more about that.
Yeah, so I think my business is home care, and I think, for example, I can go to a lot of networking events and meet people, and they hear who I am and what my business does. And then I have my ask if you know anybody and they say, maybe I got a friend for you. Great. And that's wonderful. I always like that. But that's a kind of a 1+1
Yeah.
equation versus who would be maybe a strategic referral partner for me. And so an example within my home care business would be, is there a resident relations manager within an independent living community that they know 300 of my potential customers before I
Yeah.
would ever get them? And there's a relationship that they have with these people. They already know them, like them, trust them. And so for them to pass my name on along, now I have somebody that's helping me 5 times, 10 times a year versus I know a friend, you should talk to them. And so I think maybe that's just a really convenient answer to that. And each business obviously is different. But, I think about it, who knows my clients before I do?
Yeah.
And who knows 100 of them or who knows 1,000 of them? And
Yeah.
it
And
almost like takes like this B2B approach to this B2C business that I have.
yeah, and it's a twist. Again, I pride myself in being ambitiously lazy. How do I work less hard and get a better effect? And
Hmm.
to your point, I can either hunt one egg at a time or I can find the golden goose and make friends with the golden goose and
Yeah.
stop hunting eggs. In our vernacular, we talk about lumberjacks. You
Yep.
go to these networking events and like all the people are trees and you're hunting for maple trees. And in a 200-person networking event, there might be 12 maple trees. And you got to find those. You got 2 hours to find those 12 maple trees and try and make a connection. It's a madhouse. It's stabbing people with your business cards. What if you didn't have to do that? What if you could find one person who had all those relationships with 300 maple trees?
Yeah.
Just make friends with that person and give them a reason why they might want to refer to you and you refer to them. Boy, does that change the equation. So that's really what we're talking about. And we're having done this for 2 decades now. We've landed on if you can find 3 to 5 of these people, that plus your existing friends, your existing customers, you can grow your business really well on the backs of 3 to 5 lumberjacks and the other connections you already have. That's a relational way of doing business. Let's make friends with people. Let's add value to their lives. And then they can drip on us for years to come. You got one person who could give you 300 connections. What if they just gave you one a month for the next 7 years and you had 5 of those?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
It's really
Yeah.
powerful.
And we're not in a big numbers business, just me personally. How do you take care of a couple families very, very well for a very long time? And that's ideal, obviously, and doesn't always work that way. And it is always a challenge to get in. How do you get your message in front of it's always in front of the right people. And so I think, putting that intentional thought into something just like that, right? Who would be my multipliers versus my 1+1s? Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's a powerful thing. And again, this is an important thing, not an urgent thing. Finding a customer is an urgent thing. I got to find me a customer. I need some cash.
Yeah.
And so we tend to do that and we find that it works. And so we go do it again and again and again. And we get on that tyranny of the urgent treadmill. I'm constantly looking for one more customer.
Yep.
And if we're looking for that lumberjack, it might take us a couple months. It might take us 6 months to find the first one of those people who could be dripping on my business for years to come. I don't have time to go find a lumberjack. I'm too busy finding customers. So we don't do it. We're still lizard braining. Everything is about short-term survival and short-term decision making. How do I find a customer today instead of how do I find 3 to 5 relationships where we can rain on each other for years to come and
Hmm.
never have to go talk to another stranger? After 2 decades of teaching this business development course multiple times a year, I finally wrote it all down and made a book out of it this year called Sell Less, Earn More. And that's the basis of the book. And it challenges people to never talk to another stranger again. What if you had 3 to 5 people that you enjoyed playing golf with and going to football games with and playing cards with and just being friends together with, and you all had the same customers? You might never have to talk to another stranger. And boy, is that a lot more fun for those of us who aren't born salespeople who love to go out there and bang on doors,
Yeah.
which I think is most business owners.
Well, and to your point, not everybody's good at that. And so if you put, the wrong person in the wrong seat, it's going to be agonizing, it's going to be draining, it's going to be discouraging, and it's just going to lead to more urgency. You'll continue to be.
Yeah.
Your urgency will grow. Yeah.
And even if I am good at finding one customer at a time, it sounds more attractive to me to find those 3 to 5 lumberjacks and have them send me customers instead of me out there beating the bushes. I still want to be ambitiously lazy.
It's a good way to say it.
Well, Andrew, we could keep going. There's tons of stuff we could talk about here. I would love for people to get an opportunity to get a hold of you, either to learn these kinds of things. How did you learn business development? But even more importantly, about your business. You're in the home care business. How can people get a hold of you in case they want to connect with you in some way? Maybe somebody who has lots of customers that could become your clients or vice versa, or just people who are interested in you. How can they get a hold of you?
Yeah, you can find us online at promisecareinc.com, or please email me directly. It's andrew@promisecareinc.com. I'm always happy to talk and meet and chat, whether it's about helping a family or a question about business or just meeting somebody that's that's in the grind they understand, or they need someone to understand them. That goes along.
Absolutely. Yeah, I've made great connections that way on podcasts. People have actually called me and said, hey, I'm a business owner and I can commiserate with what you're going through. Let's talk once a quarter. And we've had some great relationships where we do that kind of stuff. So I love that that's a possibility for you. Andrew, we probably just scratched the surface today, but this was fun having you on. We'll have you on again, and look forward to talking more. And let's go out and figure out how to do business development in a relational way with just a few multipliers.
Appreciate it. Thanks for the conversation.
Thank you, my friend.
That wraps up another episode of the Get Off the Treadmill podcast. If you found this podcast helpful, please subscribe and hit the like button to ensure you are receiving the latest tools you need to grow your business and to get off the treadmill. If you want more information on the 3 to 5 Club, the Crankset Group, or to book Chuck as a business advisor, speaker, or workshop leader, you can contact us at grow@cranksetgroup.com. Until next time, have a great week.